the investigation into one of the largest corruption and bribery scandals in the history of the Turkish Republic should be reopened by prosecutors because the recent confession of one of the suspects has provided new evidence regarding the scandal, according to opposition politicians. Over the weekend, Adem Karahan, one of the couriers who used to work for Iranian businessman Reza Zarrab, the prime suspect in the graft scandal that went public in December 2013, spoke about how government officials aided Zarrab's gold trade and helped him circumvent the international trade embargo on Iran. With Iran not having to depend on swapping gold in exchange for the gas it sold to Turkey after a recent nuclear deal between it and the West, which seems set to ease sanctions on Tehran, Zarrab may now lose support even inside Turkey. Babak Zanjani, an Iranian businessman who had helped the Turkish government evade Western sanctions and allegedly managed Turkish operations also linked to Zarrab, is currently in jail in Turkey. In December 2013, four ministers in then Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan's cabinet, former Environment and Urban Planning Minister Erdogan Bayraktar, former EU Affairs Minister Ejmenba, former Interior Minister Muammer Güler and former Economy Minister Zafer Aliyan had to step down due to allegations that they were involved in large-scale bribery and facilitating an illegal gold trade. A number of businessmen, bankers, and ministers' sons were also implicated, in addition to several members of Erdogan's family. A parliamentary commission was established to investigate the four former ministers' involvement in corruption, but the Justice and Development Party, AK Party, government voted against referring the ex-ministers to the Constitutional Court for trial. In his confessions to a court, Karahan said the ministers received 4% of Iran's laundered money as bribes and Zarrab received another 4%. CHP Deputy, public prosecutors must take legal action ex officio. Republican People's Party, CHP, Deputy Emre Koprulu, who was also on the parliamentary commission investigating the scandal, spoke to today's Zaman on Monday and said that opposition members of the commission wanted to hear the testimonies of many of the witnesses in the case but were unable to do so due to the approach of the AK party deputies on the commission. Underlining that the courier's confessions must force a review of the verdict of non-prosecution of the ministers passed in October by prosecutor Ekrem Aydner, Koprulu said, "There are laws pertaining to this issue. According to these laws, there has to be some kind of legal action taken. There is a crime and there are tangible pieces of evidence. There must be some legal action taken regarding this issue, it is compulsory. Public prosecutors must take legal action ex officio. The statements must be investigated due to the emergence of a new witness and evidence," he added. The Istanbul Chief Prosecutor's Office decided there were no grounds for legal action against the suspects including Zarrab, Güler's son Bar Güler, Aliyan's son Soleh Khan Aliyan and former Halk Bank General Manager Suleiman Aslan because the evidence had not been collected properly, there was insufficient evidence, the elements of an offense were non-existent and no traces of organized crime were found. Adana Bar Association urges prosecutors to reopen corruption case. Releasing a written statement via its website on Monday, the Adana Bar Association urged prosecutors to reopen the corruption and bribery investigation that was halted earlier by the government. In a development that attracted widespread domestic and international criticism, a prosecutor on October 17 of last year decided to drop the corruption and bribery charges against 53 suspects in the case. Adana Bar Association President Mengüsük Geza Trk said in the statement that those suspects who were alleged to have been involved in corruption and bribery in the December 17 corruption probe must be exposed and brought to account for their deeds, adding that the fact that evidence in the investigation was covered up and the investigation was halted due to political concerns has hurt the public's conscience. Referring to the recent remarks by Zarrab's courier Karahan, Trk said, "Taking Karahan's recent statement into consideration, we see that the corruption and money laundering acts were not restricted to just Turkey and that this issue also has some international aspects. Thus, the decision to drop the investigation, made by the Chief Public Prosecutor's Office despite the accumulated evidence, should be cancelled and the investigation relaunched." Several years ago, Erdogan praised Zarrab as a philanthropist. Zarrab has also been accused of giving a luxury watch worth $350,000 to Alian. In an interview with the Cumhuriyet Daily on Saturday, Karahan, who recently spoke to a customs inspector, said that Zarrab sold 200 tons of gold in 2012 and 2013. Stating that it was just money that flew abroad until 2012, Karahan said Zarrab's company sold TL 18 billion of gold in just 1 year. 4% of that money went to politicians and 4% went to Zarrab. But we do not know who the actual owner of the money is. Zarrab is also earning money by transferring someone else's money, he told Cumhuriyet. CHP Deputy Chairman, money laundering will be revealed when US-Iranian relations improve. The money laundering between Turkey and Iran will be revealed when relations between Iran and the US improve, according to CHP Deputy Chairman Faik Oztrak. These allegations will come to the surface. We will see this soon. No one can escape judgment. Whoever is committing a crime will face the court sooner or later, he told today's Zaman on Monday. MHP Deputy, investigation can be reopened due to new evidence coming to light. Nationalist Movement Party, MHP, Parliamentary Group Deputy Chairman Octave Ural has said the initial investigation was left unfinished and that it can be reopened now that new evidence has come to light. The investigation must be reopened. This will show whether Turkey is a country governed by the rule of law or not, he told today's Zaman on Monday. It's not possible to cover up an issue investigation with such international implications. Government aware of Zarrab's illegal gold trade. According to a report published in the Sajka Daily on Monday, the government was aware of the illegal gold trade that Zarrab conducted and even kept records of Zarrab's gold trade. The Daily further claimed that the Ministry of Customs and Trade recorded that Zarrab's company exported $8.1 billion in gold to the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and imported $8.3 billion in gold from this country between 2012 and 2013. This report states that some politicians were given a cut of 4% for overlooking the illegal gold trade. The report also says that Zarrab's company first exported gold to the UAE and then imported the same gold from the UAE, further claiming that Zarrab's company did the same practice 89 times, which attracted the attention of inspectors from the Ministry of Customs and Trade. According to the report, this practice helped boost Turkey's foreign trade figures. Zarrab infamously claimed last year that he reduced Turkey's current account deficit by 15% in 2013 by exporting 200 tons of gold valued at TL 25 billion. However, in response to a written inquiry in Parliament, Deputy Prime Minister Ali Babakan said there was no information that could corroborate Zarrab's claims.